So today was Lewis's first day back at work since testing positive last Wednesday. And per COVID protocol, he was to go in and be tested to see if he was positive or negative. Unfortunately, he's still positive. I mean, I saw that coming. I don't really know what they thought after 7 days was going to happen, but either way, he's waiting for his boss to submit his test to HR to see what's going to happen, but he's pretty sure that testing positive means that he's going to be in quarantine for another 5 days. Like last week, he tested positive. He was to quarantine 5 days, and he did for a week. And so now we're thinking he might be home again for another 5 days. Hang on, honey. So he's still home, which is great. I'm not upset about that. Still finding it hard to sit still. Not much to do in the garden. So I think I'm going to tackle this front porch and front yard. Before we got sick with COVID, we had our friends over playing cornhole, doing s'mores, sharing meals on the porch. And then we kind of all fell ill and we weren't really able to get it cleaned up properly. And it's not a huge job. It's not going to exert myself too much. And then, so I think after I tackle the front yard area, I am going to get to all this garden bounty. I have now 2 5-gallon buckets of produce that needs attention before it goes bad. So that's on today's agenda, guys. How did you not see this?
It was buried.
Oh.
Oh, lovely.
Well, that's fun. So Lewis ran over an entire row of fencing. That's in there good, huh? Oh, boy. Oh, that mower is not light. How you gonna get that out? Whew.
See that? I ran over the bush. As soon as I hit it, it was like...
I don't know why you would have hit that with the mower. It needs to come down by hand. Oh my goodness, babe.
Oh no.
Look at it. The fencing has COVID.
Stand there.
Want me to move that?
Sure.
Only you.
Shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, you should have picked it up. What are you doing? Going for a ride? Probably feels good to get out of that house, huh? Bye. right, so I think we're finished. Got all the garbage thrown out. We removed all the junk from the porch that didn't need to be here. Got our sitting spot back. Place to grill, fishing poles. Got my coffee grate back, cornhole boards. Last thing left to do is to get something to set the LG docking station on, which is the loudspeaker that we Bluetooth our music from our phones when we're hanging out outside playing cornhole. So Lewis is working on that right now, but other than that, the yard is clean. Got our little tiki torches out here for the mosquitoes. Got all the bikes parked nice and clean. Cans picked up. Cardboard's burned. And I think we're done. All right, I'm a liar. Said there wasn't much to do in the garden, but I'm heading there anyway. Can't stay out of it. Too much to do. I was gonna let that stuff be, but if I'm feeling good, I'm working. So let's head into the garden. I'm gonna show you what's on today's agenda. So first things first, these pansies have finally bit the dust, so I'm going to rip everything out. And with the last bucket of pansies that I ripped out, I learned that the root system is just incredible. So the soil is not even going to be worth saving. When I ripped them out of that bucket, there was barely any soil left that wasn't intertwined in the root system. So these are the alyssum that I planted. I don't know, they're not doing too hot, but they're still alive, so I'm gonna leave them. I'm thinking about utilizing these buckets though for some more herbs. Now that we're close to the end of the season, I need more herbs. How did you get in there? All right, so Lewis originally planted all my herbs in here, and we only got 2 compartments that filled with cilantro and 2 that filled with dill. They're doing great. Just need more of it. Family of 12 isn't gonna do nothing with this. So I think I'm going to rip out the old pansies, plant some more dill and cilantro. Definitely need to move my peppermint today. Not even getting any sun. Look at all these flowers. So pretty. Lots of squash on the way. So Lewis came out last night and he harvested all the squash that I showed you guys yesterday. Those are all clipped off. And then we've got these ones still brewing. Look at that butternut squash. Another big one. Still don't know when to harvest them, but they're still alive. So that's a plus. Not every day I can keep something alive. So I gotta show you guys this. This is funny. So we planted these eggplant seeds in the buckets, and excuse me, we read that you should plant eggplant by or with tomatoes because they're companions. And so we put all the buckets along the tomato beds. Come to find out, when this pile was at its worst and it was hanging over and the buckets were still on this side, apparently from the birds eating the tomatoes, a seed must have dropped and we got a voluntary tomato plant right next to the eggplant. And I don't know if that's a good thing, but I'm gonna leave it. It looks good. Super healthy. I'm shocked that it survived, because when tomato sprouts first sprout, they're so thin and usually leggy, and being outside right from the get-go usually doesn't work for me. I didn't even notice this until a little bit ago, so I thought that was funny. Also gonna get out here and clean up all this mess. So a lot of this is the marigolds, but as you can see, the ones that went to seed, I'm gonna all this. So when you have your marigolds go from this to this is actually, the head is actually the seeds. Let me see if I can do this one-handed. You gently tug, and so that's what I save. These are already extremely dried out, so I'm going to stick these in the baggie that I have in the house already of seeds that I say. I never, ever, ever have to buy marigold seeds because I do this every year. And you just plop these back in and voila, more marigolds. So I'm going to clean up this mess, pick out the dead ones, harvest the seeds. I do have to finish pruning this tomato mess today. I can't even stand being out here looking at that. Lewis harvested the one smaller onion yesterday for me, but these two, the tops are still so strong and green. I don't want to rip them out yet. So we're going to wait a little bit longer on the garlic bed. So last night I came out here and I followed Lewis to show him what needed to be harvested, and found myself weeding beds when I should have been resting. So I got all these weeds out of the front of this bed here and a little bit on the side. I cleaned up around some of the squash here. I do have to get back there. This darn catchweed is so invasive and not on my favorites list. I got a lot of catchweed over here to get. All this junk. Oh, look at the beans. Look at how beautiful those are. Oh, look how purple. Need to get my hair that color. Cute little flower. We got lots of bean action going on. So I did water this guy pretty good yesterday and it did perk up. So it wasn't dying, it was just thirsty. These marigolds are still going strong. Still got new buds forming. These will probably last straight through the fall season. More beans. These are wax beans. These I think I'm going to start harvesting. They have the cutest little flowers. No new squash here yet. This tomato is one of my sprouts from inside. Look at that. Look what that did. Look at all the roots. So if I bury this with more soil, it will establish an even stronger root system. So I think I'll do that today. It's already kind of snug down there, so just bury all this, probably up to here, with soil, and it'll give an even better root system. I did lose the tomato sprouts that I had in here, so I'm probably going to utilize this bucket for more herbs. Whew. These are more tomatoes that I started inside along with that one. I am going to clean up this tomato bed. I can't even tell what's a tomato and what's a weed. So I'll get to this bed, I'll get to this bed, finish off that bed. And then these tomatoes here, and I think that's it for today's cleanup. But look at this. I don't even, is this all from this? It is. Holy moly. So that has crushed my tomato cage. So I have to tidy that up. It's too heavy. This is too funny. So this is our beets. We planted all these at the same time, but as you can see, they're all different sizes. That one's huge. But look at this. I don't even know how this happened. Another voluntary tomato plant is just hanging out dead center of the beet section. That is so weird. I think our Charlie Brown tree here is gonna get in the way. Wish my food grew as well as the weeds do here.
Right?
Oh, this one's not too bad. Last one was all roots, tangled mess. At least I can salvage some of this soil. You want to grab those herb seeds from the tote in the house, babe? All right, this bucket is prepped and we are gonna put some basil in here. So because basil is like dust, what I do is I just sprinkle it around and kind of just fuss with the top of the soil. And that's it. A light mist for water so you don't drown them out, and you're good to go.
My God.
1, 2, 3. Look at them. They're up
We
there
should've
eating our
picked-
pears.
We should have picked those pears.
They're supposed to be picked this month.
Okay. Well,
Oh my goodness, you naughty birds.
I gotta get them.
Oh my God. Look at them.
They used the ladder.
They used the ladder.
Using the ladder.
Chickens are using the ladder to climb our 30-foot pear trees to eat our pears. So I did end up deciding to rip out the alyssum from this pot because it's just pretty lifeless, and what flowers are left are so tiny. They're not even going to benefit the pollinators. So I'm going to replace it with parsley, which will benefit our family. So we'll have parsley in this hanging basket and basil in the other. All right, we're done for the afternoon. Got our hanging baskets with basil and parsley. Lewis is switching the hooks for me right now. That's for the hummingbird feeder. So both hanging pots are on the inside of the garden gate now, and they won't bonk my head. Lewis moved the peppermint. Gabby was super helpful. Beds 8, 9, and 10 are all weeded. They look great. I could actually see my food. So we got our beans, squash, more beans. I cleaned up all the dead matter right here from this squash plant and buried the stem that the ants and the squash bugs had gotten to, so I could heal that and keep this plant alive. And look, I can see bed number 10 tomato plants. They all have cages now. They've been tidied. I can see my fruit. We went ahead and buried the 2 stems of this squash plant too. The only thing I didn't get to was this because I am feeling absolutely horrible. The sun is beating on my head, and I think with being on antibiotics, not making me feel too hot right now. So that's the last thing to do, but we have walkways. It's clean, and we'll get back out here later.